Hey there, everyone. Tom Day here. It's been a while since I've created any content for you folks. Not much has been happening in REO lately. Uh, Much to my surprise, I figured by now we'd be seeing much more foreclosures than we're seeing. In my neck of the woods, Broward County, Palm Beach County, foreclosures in the last couple of years has doubled, but you double a small number, you still have a small number. Yeah, there were somewhere around 90 foreclosure listings in my MLS recently, which is historically that's really a pretty small number. So I thought what I'd do is I'd change gears a little bit and talk about what's happening in the actual foreclosure auctions. I watch these. I've been watching them for 15 years, and it's really interesting stuff. Here's where uh, uh, these properties get auctioned off online. You're looking at the Broward County Clerk of the Court's foreclosure sales site, and what I'm going to do is I am going to just show you what's been happening. I'm going to show you the winners and losers because there are some winners, but there certainly are some losers too. And you'll get a chance to see, I'll give an opportunity to show you perhaps how to make money and more importantly, how not to lose money. Um, if, if you're new to foreclosure auctions, you have to be very cautious. There's a lot of risk involved in bidding on these foreclosure auctions. If you buy an REO from the MLS, you're going to get a warranty deed. When you buy a property at auction here, you're not getting a warranty deed. It's possibly subject to liens and all kinds of problems. You're going to get a certificate of title, much different than a warranty deed. So you want to make sure that you're getting something well below market in case there are problems with the properties. So what I'm going to do right now is today's May 10th, the day I'm recording this. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the month and show you what's happened. This is the calendar for May, and it shows you the number of foreclosures that were scheduled. On Thursday, May 1st, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what happens quite often is the auctions get canceled. Perhaps the lender didn't have all their paperwork in order. Perhaps the borrower's attorney was able to get it delayed for one reason or another, filed a motion and got it delayed. And in let's see, the last one here, somebody did bid on it, but the bidder walked away. They could have found problems in it that they didn't anticipate when they were bidding on it. Who knows? But anyway, so nothing really happened on the 1st. Let's take a look at what happened on May 2nd. Friday, May 2nd. What happens in Broward County on Fridays is all the auctions primarily are HOA auctions. And if you bid on an HOA auction, you have to really know what you're doing because an HOA auction is not in first position. In other words, a mortgage, a first mortgage, when you're bidding on a first mortgage, generally all the other liens that might be attached to them go away, with the exception of any HOA liens or property taxes, though you're still subject to pay those if there are any. IRS liens, those are a gray area. It is possible to get those wiped out. I'm not going to go into that right now, but there is a process to get IRS liens wiped out. But maybe I'll talk about those another time. Here we are on Friday the 2nd, and there were, looks like 6 auctions, and 2 of them did get sold to third-party bidders. The rest got canceled. Who can bid on these as a third-party bidder? Anybody. You can register on this site. You need to have a deposit equal to 5% or more of how much you intend to bid up to. So in this first case, the third-party bidder bid up to and won the auction at $46,100. That means they had to have at least $2,300 and change on their account in order to bid up to that amount. So let's see if this bidder got a good deal or not. First thing I do is I go to this website here. This is a IMAP. It's available to licensed agents who have MLS access. It interfaces the tax records in the MLS and gives me a lot of information at my fingertips. So I've already pulled this up, and here's the property. It's a condo in Tamarack. I think this is the Kings Point complex. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get an approximate value of this property. So I pull up another website available to licensed agents. That's RPR. And it gives me an automated valuation, much like Zillow's estimate. I find this just to be a little bit more accurate. So an estimated value on this condo is somewhere around $174,000. It could be anywhere in this range here of 130 to 217 potentially. And if I were to be bidding on this, I certainly wouldn't want to bid up to 174,000. I would want all in to be 30% less than that. Maybe 20 if I thought that it might be in good condition and I didn't see many red flags on it. So here we are. We got an approximate value of 174,000. And look at this. It was listed for sale and canceled earlier this year. It looks like it was canceled. And I did look this up. $30,000 list price, but there's more to that. This was an online auction. So that's the beginning bid price. It got canceled for some reason, and unfortunately the listing doesn't have any interior photos, so we're not going to get much help there. I'm going to try and look at the history. No. But if I go back to IMAP, I can see that there is another foreclosure action in the works. There is a loan on this property, a lien, first mortgage, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what I can find out about this one, because you don't want to win an auction and then be subject to it getting foreclosed again. Because when you win a HOA auction, like I mentioned earlier, it's still going to be subject to any other liens that are still attached to that property. So what I do is I go to the Broward County Clerk of the Courts website, and I enter in the case number that I pulled off of IMAP. I take these dashes out because sometimes that doesn't. Okay, here it is. And this this page, this is all the particulars about this foreclosure case. You know, it has the attorneys, the plaintiffs, the defendants listed, any other parties named in this suit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the original complaint and see what I can find out about this mortgage. And this is the complaint that gets filed, and there's all kinds of information in the complaint itself. All the named parties. Hopefully it'll show approximately what's owed. And by the looks of it, I have the feeling that this is going to be a reverse mortgage. And those can be very tricky to figure out what the balance is for for that lien. Let me back up a second. This person here bid up to $46,000. So that looks like a good deal if there's no other liens attached to it. But if there is, say, a lien in excess of, say, $80,000, because I wouldn't want to be into this more than $120,000 because I want to make a profit off of it. And who knows what kind of trouble might be lurking in this. So I hope that I'm not going to find liens of more than $80,000 and hopefully much less than that. Oh, here we go. All right, this is going to tell us the unpaid principal. The unpaid principal balance was 114. Accrued interest, another 32. Placed insurance, service fees. Look at that, $163,000 minimum is owed on this as of 2 years ago. So this number has probably continued to go up 5% per annum. So tack on another $16,000. So it might be as much as $180,000 that's owed on this. So you take 46,000 plus the lien of, I'm guessing somewhere around 180, and you have 226,000. So it doesn't look like this bidder is going to be a winner. Might be a big loser. There are now what this bidder can do probably didn't understand what they were bidding on, but it's not the end of the world. They can negotiate with the lender and try and get that down to a number that they can at least break even on, if not make a little bit of profit. But that is not going to be a simple matter for them, and they're going to need an attorney to help them out with that, and that could take some time. In the meantime, that lender could just go and foreclose on that and wipe that $46,000 that this bidder has spent. So in just the 10 minutes I've been looking at this one looks like a loser, which is a shame. All right, let's take a look at the other one that took place on May 2nd. I'm going to look this one up by the parcel number on IMAP. Okay, this one is, oh, I know where this one is. This is in, I think this is Victoria, Victoria Isles, I think is the name of this complex. It's in Coconut Creek. All right, so this third party bidder bid up to $81,000, and I can already see that this is going to be trouble for him. Wow. Let's see how bad it is. There's a judgment on this for $455,000. I'm taking a look at the value. Automated value on this is $378,000. Holy smokes. This doesn't look good. Yeah, somebody way overbid for this. I wouldn't even bid a penny on this one. So there is an auction date. Let's see what happened to this auction. Wow, I wonder what this bidder was thinking here. Let's see if we can find anything else about this. You know what? I'm not going to go too deep into this one because it is such a cut and dry loss. But what, let's see. I'm just going to try and see. Oh. Notice of sale. Okay, so this is going to get foreclosed on June the 3rd, just a month, less than a month away. This person here, unless they can get an attorney to get this delayed, is looking at losing that $81,000. Let's see if we go to the calendar, June 3rd, see if it's there. Coconut Creek. Here it is. Look at this. There. All right. So getting back to this one, clear loser, biggest loser of the day so far. He's going to lose that $81,000, more than likely. Folks, if you're going to be bidding on HOA foreclosures, you really got to know what you're doing. You need to know how to research liens. And you really want to run a lien search before you start bidding on any property, whether it's an HOA or a first loan mortgage. You want to know what exactly the liens are on this property before you start bidding and throwing your money away. Because clearly these folks here have lost $46,000 and $81,000 respectively. It looks like to me, unless a miracle happens. So let's take a look at, see if we can find any winners, because so far we got 2 losers. All right, here's another third party. Oh, I remember looking this one up. This one actually might be a winner. Well, maybe not a winner, but oh, I remember this one. Okay. I did peek at this one before I started this video. Here it is. Kind of an interesting one. The value is put at $109, maybe up to $121. And you can see what's this one was listed until the day of the auction, and it looks gutted. So I'm going to look at the MLS listing on this one. So you can see, this property's been gutted, which, I guess they saved some demo on it. But is this a great deal? Not if all you can get out of it is $121,000. Hopefully, in whereas the Sunrise Lakes renovated units get more than that. Let's take a quick look. What are 2 bedrooms getting in Sunrise Lakes? Two-bedroom units. Wow, there's a lot for sale in Sunrise Lakes. 400, 289 two-bedroom units for sale in Sunrise Lakes. Come on, MLS. Okay. Really, what I want to know is what's closed in the last 90 days. All right, so there have been numerous sales in there. So it looks like 2 bedrooms, they're all over the place. I'm not going to go deep into this, but there is a possibility that there's some money to be made in a rehab on this one. So, all right, I think it probably got it slightly below market. Nothing to get too excited about. The next one I've already taken a look at, and it is a winner, and I think it's a big winner here. I'll show you the property. This one's in Pompano Beach. It's in Cypress Harbor, next door to Garden Isles. I'll show you where it is on a map. It's a waterfront property. Zoom out a little bit. See, it's all on the all in these waterfront properties here, just west of US 1. So my automated valuation says it's worth what? $875. Yeah. Oh, this is and this has been listed too. Also canceled. It's not as big a winner as I thought. That's kind of a low valuation for that neighborhood. All right, no interior pictures. Sometimes that means that it's not great. Okay, it changed hands 3 years ago. Let's see here's what it looked like 3 years ago. This ain't bad. Unless the borrowers trashed it, it looks like a pretty decent property at, a pretty decent buy. It does it meet my standard of 30% below market value? Say it's 860. Do a quick calculation. I would say 70% of 860 is 602. I'd say that this is a decent buy. There's some equity in there, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of work. The only danger here that there's no HOA in that neighborhood. Let's see, as the taxes have been paid, surprisingly, even at 21,000. So it's not a homesteaded property; it's an absentee owner. So this gets better and better. May not have too much trouble if there's somebody in there. It's probably a tenant, and tenants are pretty easy to get out. You just have to help them relocate with some cash for keys generally. So I'm going to call that one a winner for sure. Somebody got a good buy there. I'm surprised that there weren't more. Let's see how many bidders there were on that property. Looks like there were only a couple bidders there towards the end. Very interesting. Okay, enough of that. Let's see if there's any others on that day. Here one went back to a plaintiff. That's the lender in Wilton Manors. That will end up probably as an REO sometime down the road. Who knows how long that'll take. There were a number of auctions on this day scheduled. A lot of them were canceled. Sometimes it's canceled due to bankruptcy. All right, here we go. Here's another one. Third-party bidder. The max bid was only 13. This must be an HOA. Sometimes HOAs come on different days, not exclusively on Friday. But let's see what's happening here. Parcel ID, paste. Okay, Christopher House condominiums off of A1A. We can see right off the bat that there is some taxes owed, so whoever won that has to pay 2024 taxes, and of course 2025 taxes as well. So what's going on with this one? Let's see what the value is on this. 458, sorry, is the estimated value on this property. So I'm already suspicious because 173, there must be some kind of mortgage on that. Let's see what we can find out. Sometimes RPR is just the easiest way to find out what the mortgage is. Okay, there's a reverse mortgage on this one going back almost 20 years. And it's a thing about reverse mortgages is they are so hard to figure out what the balance is. Let's disclaim. Okay, here's the problem. I found it. Um, I found the mortgage. It was under his wife's name, and it goes back to it goes back to 2006. It's a reverse mortgage. So the face value of it is 544,000. This person paid 100. What did he pay? Uh, Here we go. This person paid 173. You add the first mortgage that it's subject to, which is who knows the exact amount, but the face value is 500, and that's way above its. Those two numbers together are way above what this place is worth. So I'm not going to try and find out what the actual value or balance of this is. You can't just call up the lender and say, "Hey, what's the balance on this?" Because without an authorization from the borrower, you can't get that information easily. So I'm going to say this was another big loser here. Holy smokes, craziness. All right, let's do a few more. Wednesday's auctions. There's one here. There's one in Plantation. A third-party bidder won this property for $368,000. Let's see whether that's a good deal or not. So far we've got 3 losers and 1 winner. That's not very good. What do we got here? Okay. $476 is the automated valuation on this property. Bidder paid $368. So on the face of it, it's a little above what I would pay for it, but there's looks to be like there's somewhere close to $100,000 in equity. What it's got going for it is the current owners are absentee owners. They live out of state. And, oh my, look. Oh, the current owners bought it at foreclosure auction. Oh, they must have bid it. They must have won it on a HOA auction. So they lost that 80. Yeah, look. Let's see what the particulars are here. Yep, they won it the HOA auction. They paid $80,000 for this property, and then the first mortgage came and foreclosed on it, and they lost their $80,000. That's not true completely, because they're the owners. There was an overage between the bid amount and the final judgment amount. So that difference goes back to those folks who who won the auction as an HOA auction. So they didn't lose the entire $80,000, and let's see, they owned it for 2 years. Conceivably, they could have rented it out and gotten some income from that. Perhaps they broke even or maybe made a little bit of money, but high risk to it's a high risk proposition. So the new owners are winners, and the old owners were HOA bidder losers. So the HOA bidders are all losers so far that we've seen. All right, next auction a little later in the day on the 7th. One in Davie. Let's take a look. Single family home in Davie. Not familiar with this neighborhood. Oh my, let's see. The automated valuation is $626, and the bidder got it for $445. So a couple $100,000. Oh, wait a minute. This was an HOA auction. Yeah, the HOA foreclosed on this. Let's see if there was any mortgages on it. There was one from There was one from 150 from way back in 2003. Kind of hard to read. So that had one. What's this? Bank of America. So there were 2 liens. This is a revolving. This is a line of credit, and it shall not exceed $206,000. Impossible to say what, just from the public records, what the actual balance was, but I don't see any. Wait a minute. Okay, satisfaction of lien. So the one for $150,000 was paid off. It all depends on what this other lien was. You'll notice that it said no more than 206, so certainly didn't lose any money on this one, but I wouldn't have bid that much money on an HOA, an HOA auction. All right, that one's a little hard to tell whether it's an actual winner or not. If it all depends on what the balance of that line of credit is. Say it's under if it's $100,000 or less, then this bidder did okay. But it's hard to tell just from the public records. This day there was one that was won by the lender. Another one won by the lender. And that's it. Thursday, there was one third-party bidder winner in Dania Beach. All right, let's see what we got here on this next property here in Dania Beach. It's a condo. I'm going to pull up and see what the valuation is on this. Somewhere around 267, 268, round up. Bidder got it for $85,000. Yeah, it looks like a good deal so far, unless there are plaintiff, Dorsey Park Properties. Okay, that must be a private lender. Let's see if there were any other liens on this. There shouldn't be. There are some taxes owed. That seems like a really good deal, so I got the feeling that there's more to this story, and I'm just going to see what I can find out in county records. So I'm looking up the name here, looking at recent history. There's definitely more to this story, but I'm not going to bore you until I find out what's going on. But on the outside, it looks like this bidder got a good deal. I have the feeling that there's more to this story than meets the eye, but I don't want to bore you. It's going to take me a good 10, 15, 20 minutes to dig into this one a little bit further and see if there were any other liens. But that one looks pretty solid. All right, well, that's enough for today. You can see that there were more losers than there were winners, certainly. And most of the losers were folks that were bidding on HOA foreclosures, HOA auctions. You really need to know what you're doing if you're going to be bidding on those types of auctions that are subject to all the other liens that could be attached to them. You need to do thorough lien searches before you bid on them, and even after you bid on them and have put your deposit down, you still have 24 hours to pay off the balance. So it's a good thing to do another lien search before you pay off that balance, and then at least you only lose 5% as opposed to all of it. If you have any questions about any of these, leave them in the comments section and I'll try and answer them for you. If you folks like this content, please subscribe to my channel. Perhaps I'll continue doing these on a weekly basis. I'm Tom Day. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today. Bye.